Yes. Thank you very much. That's right. We are here. Have a seat, ladies and gentlemen. Please have a seat. This is Marwan Tomodachi, and this is a podcast called Henny for Your Thoughts. I know some of you love that dark liquor like Henny, and I know some of you love thoughts. Henny for your thoughts. That's right. We have comedian action here on this channel. We can be funny. That's right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, as you can tell by the title, we're going to talk about Lil Duval, who was recently on a radio show, a radio show that is often live on YouTube called Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, and a college friend, Angela Yee. They had Lil Duval, a 40-year-old comedian who's appearing at a comedy club known as Caroline's, which is why he was on the Breakfast Club in the first place, promoting his shows. They talked about various things on the show, but this topic here is surrounding his comments regarding transgender. Charlamagne the God initially asked him, well, I'll let them speak for themselves. How about that? Imagine that. Isn't that a novel idea, letting them speak for themselves?
Outbreaks in his butthole.
You guys are crazy.
Nah, but for real.
You guys are crazy.
What you saying about Usher, shorty?
Man, I don't know, man.
Too far.
Yeah.
Imagine a question. How you feel about President Trump's take on banning transgenders from being a part of our military?
Man, don't be asking me nothing like that. You ain't finna put me in that hole. Nope. No, I don't know. I mean, shout out to my sister, my gay ass sister. She doing her thing.
She part of the LGBT?
Yeah, she part of the LGBT. She the first person that texted me about that. Did you see that? And I had to fake like I cared. Be like, oh, that's crazy.
So what do you think about transgender people being in the military?
I'm just doing my thing, man. Did I tell you I'll be at Carolina this weekend? I'm just doing my thing. Shout out to all the trainees out there.
You can't say that.
That's crazy.
Transgenders,
Transgenders.
So you met a girl and she didn't tell you she was a transgender.
That ain't a girl. I met a boy. That means I met a boy.
After 4 months, she told you I had sex, and then after
we not having sex. We not having sex.
Yes, after 4 months, you had sex, and she said, Duval.
This might sound messed up, and I don't care. She died. I can't deal with that.
That's a hate crime.
I can't do that. No, dog, you manipulated me to believe in this thing. My mind, I'm gay now.
I do think
I'm gay.
No, you're not. She's a woman.
No, I'm gay.
It happened to Richard Pryor.
He cool with that. He was cool with that. He said he's.
Oh, man. As you can tell, it got a little interesting. And, first thing is first, he did admit that his sister is gay. Whether or not that matters to anyone, it's not up to me, but I think it's interesting. She's the first one who called him. So he has LGBTQ in his family. He also said that she'd die. Whether or not we can take him literally is another question. It doesn't seem like he was too much in his comedy mode here, although he is a comedian, and it did seem like the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne and DJ Envy, and Angela Yee were egging him on, almost, knowing he would be sort of loose-lipped with this information as the type of person who really just doesn't care and who would speak his mind freely at whatever cost, right? But he also said that his mind would be fucked up. The hypothetical posed was whether or not, how he would feel if after 4 months they were together, after they had sex, this transgendered person comes out and says, you know what, I am transgender. So the topic of this is regarding consent. Okay, I posed a question on my Facebook channel because I do think this is an interesting topic, even though I'm not as big a fan of the Breakfast Club itself. But this is my post on Facebook that I'm going to read. If you watch trash, you will get varying and relative levels of trash, and you engage with trash and might start smelling and talking trashy. This is why I rarely watch The Breakfast Club. They even admit they play trash music, but trash is part of who we are, and sometimes you gotta dig through it. Comedian Lil Duval was asked if he were tricked into having sex with a transgender woman, what would he do? He said he might kill her because of the nature of the deception. He also said he'd feel like he were made gay at that point. Some fans of the show are attacking Lil Duval, and he has stood firm, not apologizing since. But can one argue that guys in those cases of being intentionally deceived by transgender women and only found out after having sex and being told directly by them, if they were raped or assaulted, as they gave no consent to intercourse with the transgender woman and honestly had no idea? And I asked my people on Facebook, what did they think about that? The idea of a deceiving transgender woman having sex with a guy who's known to be straight, having sex with a guy who's known to only appreciate straight women. This transgender woman left out a critical detail that if told or if the truth were spoken, maybe Lil Duval, again, this is a hypothetical, but maybe Lil Duval would have made another decision not to have sex, and maybe he wouldn't have had to go through that at all anyway. I'm very much concerned with the whole idea of consent anyway. I mean, imagine having sex with someone who knew they had HIV. Imagine having sex with someone who had razor blades deep inside her vagina. And imagine having sex with someone who you find out later is transgender. Now, I'm not saying go out here and kill people. I would never say kill. But I'm always interested in the mind of people. I'm always interested in consent. And I don't know about you, but if this could be considered a kind of assault, if this could be considered a kind of rape, then I could understand emotional and angry responses to being told that you just had sex with a transgender woman that you thought was all woman since she was born, or all baby girl, all woman since she was born. It raises interesting questions, y'all. One person commented, "I totally agree. That is the equivalent of being raped." Hey, I'm just tossing questions out here. This is not really a back and forth debate. This whole topic is foreign to me. And I'm really interested in knowing, because people are attacking Lil Duval. People are calling him transphobic. People are calling him a manner of names. People are upset at The Breakfast Club itself for seeming to be egging on this guy with loose lips on their show live, broadcasted worldwide to millions and millions of people. So what do you all think? Is this akin to being raped? And if it is akin to being raped, can we understand at least someone's knee-jerk response to lash out and attack the person that assaulted them? This is just something that I wanted to bring out to my listeners. I'd love you all to think about this, have discussions about it with your own people. This is not a show or a podcast out here, rallying troops to go kill transgendered women. What this is, however, is a clarion call. I'm almost begging people who are transgendered, people who are considering, people who are transitioning, people who are in that life, to be more honest about the situation. People you're having sex with should know everything about you. Now, you can say the onus is on Lil Duval or people like that who are having sex. If they want to ask as many questions as they need to ask to be sure who they're dealing with and to not assume. But arguably, there are women out here who are transgendered and look spitting image of a woman that is not transgender. So I understand how people could be reasonably confused or reasonably fooled. Many transgender people know that they might look just like a woman. Many transgender know that they are fooling men all the time. Of course, there is fear of disclosing who they are at all, because in some people's minds, disclosure of something like that, even if you're just on Facebook, could lead to someone trying to verbally assault you, attack you, etc. We just had a story, two similar stories. One where a guy had some sort of sexual contact after speaking with someone on Facebook. They meet up, they have sex or do something sexual, maybe oral sex, who knows. After the sex, this individual is told that they just had sex with a transgender. He goes and stabs that person 140 times. Now, when you're in law school, you go through criminal law, you go through certain cases. I remember a specific case where someone got less time because, he stabbed someone. In this case I'm talking about, stabbed someone many different times. But it was held that because of the nature of the crime, this person's mind was so out of it that they could not control their emotions, and they got less time under the circumstances. And they specifically used the nature of the killing, like the many stabbings, as an example of, wow, this person must have been out of their mind totally. Again, I'm not here to promote violence against any L, any G, any B, any T, any Q, or LMNOP, QRS, TUV, WXY, or Z. I don't know. I'm not trying to promote any violence at all. If anything, I'm trying to promote the people out here, because there are some out here who are actually telling the truth. There are some who tell the truth. There are some who are straight up with you, and we got to give them a round of applause. We got to give them a round of applause, because honesty is always the best policy. A lot of times, some of the worst lies are told by omission. The worst lies are often told when you don't disclose something that should be disclosed. So I wanted to present this here on my podcast, Henny for Your Thoughts, and ask you, what do you think? Is it reasonable to compare transgenders who intentionally deceive someone into having sex with them, knowing that that person thinks they're having sex with a straight woman, heterosexual woman? Do you think that's akin to rape or sexual assault? I mean, he consented to the act itself, right? He consented to the sexual act, but he did not consent to having sex with a transgendered person. And some may say, well, all transgendered person are women, so they never need to disclose that. Well, that is something we all as a community, that is something we all as a people have to discuss and get to the bottom of immediately. Immediately. This is Marwan Tomodachi. I do not watch Breakfast Club, although I am familiar with at least one person there through college, Angela Yee. I think the show is trash. They admit it's trash music, but I wanted to present this to you all today to ask you that question. Is it possible that transgender who lie or who never tell about their situation, is that considered rape? And if so, can you understand at the very least that someone would have an emotional response? Not everyone has the same emotional response, just like not every person is the same. But this is just a desire for me to get understanding and to urge people to be honest. Thank you all. Thank you all very much. This is a tough one. This is a tough subject, but I appreciate your time and your attention. What do you all think? Please comment below. This is Marwan Tomodachi, Henny for Your Thoughts.